What's up guys, back with a different kind of video actually, but still another Catan video. So, as you all know, I played my first tournament game, I think 1 of 4 games, so still 3 games left. And safe to say, it was really bad, from my end. I think the nerves got to me a lot, a bit of second guessing, not thinking the way I should be thinking, of the way I usually think in games. And I think just it being my first game where I can actually talk to people as well, it was just a lot different, right? So not as comfortable, not thinking the way that I usually think, and it caused a bit of chaos for me. But
here we go, guys.
There's me talking. So we've got Darky, who's really cool, J-Dogs, really nice guy as well, and not Lily, but Griffin, who's super nice and really talented as well. Yeah, so, okay. We're in. This is also the first kind of like base random game that I've played as well. But anyway, I feel like there's no point in posting this whole game editing an hour and 14 minutes. It just wasn't it. I mean, I've kind of reviewed it myself. Yeah. I mean, just so many mistakes really from me. I think the pressure just got to me. And I don't know why I was feeling pressure, but it is what it is. Let's just watch this for a bit, so see where we're at. Yeah, so obviously you look at this board straight away. The clear choice here is the brick, right? The 6-10-5. It's just such a good pick to start. Get that only brick. There's still quite a lot of wood on the board as well. And it's just like, if you actually look at this board, the highest producing spots like 6-5-10, 8-5-10, and like 8-10-4. This is just by far the strongest, right? Because 8-5-10, I mean, it's high producing, but you're getting the sheep, which is just kind of useless. And the wood is nice, but, you know, ultimately the brick is just far superior, especially with the scarcity on this board with the 11 and 12, right? Anyway, so what do I say here?
Maybe we might get 8-4-11. Yeah. Pretty good pick.
Yeah.
Pretty solid spot.
Indeed. So now you got Blue, who's a really good player. I mean, you've got this. Let's just pause it here. You've obviously got this spot, which is where you really should be thinking about going, because you've got the wood pot, right? You got potential like 6-9-2 as an out. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, right? You can also just take 8-10-4 straight up to the wood pot. I think that's pretty good. I don't know if anyone would actually take 8-3 on this board as well. So 8-4-10 seems like the play. Straight to the wood pot. You get on the extra bit of sheep. You have potential outs here with 6-9-2 or maybe something around here, depending on what everyone else takes. Let's just skip a little bit. What do I say a few things here, I think. So I'm thinking he's going to take 8-10-4.
No.
Yeah, he goes to 8-4-11 play, and he actually leaves me the ore, which I thought was a little weird. And now, like, I think he was also kind of baiting me into this pick.
The idea is I'm hoping that me and Phantom lock up the ore.
Yeah, like, he locks up the ore, but it kind of forces me into this game that I didn't really want to play, because I take 8-10-3, right? Which is still really good, right? The ore's really nice on this board. And there's so much wheat here. It's like I'm going to get a wheat spot, and I'm probably going to get another good sheep spot, depending on what black takes. And he kind of said a few things like, I don't know. But the problem kind of with this 8-10-3 play is like, I go 8-10-3, right? And depending on what black takes, it's probably like, I'm probably going to get something like 6-9-4, 8-9-10, 8-11-9, something around there. 6-9-2 is a potential play with the wood port, but it's like, I don't know how winning that is. It's also, am I ever gonna win this wood port race as well? So it's like, I've only got this. I'm probably not gonna beat the 8-5-10 player to the 3-1. So probably no point in pointing left, right? Let's just play it.
I'm not sure that you did it.
I feel like he's baiting me into this.
What do I say here?
Yeah, well, the thing about this position, right, is I feel like he's baiting me into this. Like, why does he want me to take the ore? And I don't know if I beat him to the wood port.
Yeah.
Especially if 11 rolls a lot. You'd think he'd go wood port. He'll have the wood, I won't ever win the 3-1 race.
Yeah.
But I will get such a good sheep and wheat spot on the way back, so it's like it's hard not to take the ore. I think I just got to lock up the ore here. I think he's right. I'm really surprised he didn't go the A10-4, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess 8-4-11 is still really good, right? Because you probably beat me to this. You also can double up on the brick and get the brick port. 2 settlement spot opportunities for you as well, rather than A10-4 is just 1 to the wood port. I just, man, I don't think 8-3-10 and 6-9-2 is strong enough. So I don't think 6-9-2 was ever in my mind as well. It was always, let's play all 8 sheep. Anyway.
So,
And I don't know why I feel like he was baiting me. I don't know why. It's just the vibe I kind of got straight off the bat. But I don't know. Let's just play.
I think I've just got to play it.
Yeah, so I take the 8-3-10. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Other picks I could have done, I mean, I don't know. It's just the brick is so weird, right? 8-5-10 seems losing. I guess I could play like a 8-4-11 into the wheat with like... but the problem is, like, I just give up this and this to black. So it's like, that's not really, it doesn't really do much, does it? So I feel like this is really my only play, isn't it? Yeah.
Necessity either. Could just go left.
I don't think I ever win this, so...
I think it's fine. I think it's fine to lock up this ore. Just how much better am I going to be than him at the ore wheat sheet?
Yeah, and that's also the thing as well. So we're both on the 8, right? He's on the 4, I'm on the 3. And depending, like, if I get 6-9-4, like, depending on a lot of things as well, like, we're going to be sharing a lot of the same numbers. Unless, well, I guess his plan was to go the 6-9-2, right? But then he just beats me to the wood port. And the wood port's just so good. But he's on the same amount of wheat, same amount of ore. I get a little bit of extra wheat maybe with the 11. Yeah, interesting.
You know, because we're both going to live on the 8s. He's probably going to get a pretty good sheep spot as well, most likely. But will he want to play the wood instead? Because there's no, like...
sheep wheat spots open.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, like... I get the 9 of wheat regardless, but so does he. And plus he has the 4. Yeah.
Like, I'm always going to get a good spot here. Like, 6-9-4, 8-4-11.
Yeah, anyway, so skip a little bit here. So black goes...
I'll be joining you in the ruined sleep schedule.
Black goes the 6-9-4.
Always take this.
So he takes that big spot. That's also another high producing spot right there. I don't know how winning his spot is either without ore. Like, you have a bunch of sheep and a bunch of wheat. And I guess the plan is to 3-for-1 all your wood to get here. But I just, like, without maybe a port, like a wheat port or a sheep port especially, I just don't know if you can win this game with this setup. Especially with red's position as well. But also, like, what else is there? You play all wheat sheep against blue and me. And like, you do what? 8-4-11, 6-9-4, like, I don't know. Maybe I think that might be the only play for him, really. And then I take 6-9-2. Yeah.
Right, so he takes the 9-4-6.
Really weird position. And definitely, like, such a good spot for first, right? The 6-10-5 pick is so big.
It's just losing. It's just losing, right? The thing is, I don't get the good weight that I like, but I leave 8-4 open for blue. If I take, like, 8-11-9. But I think I just have to take the best weight on this board, right? I could even go the 6-9-2, but how good is that?
Yeah.
I'd rather just take 8-9-11 point left and just...
Yeah, so the plan all along right here is that I'm going to get 8-9-11. So he's going to take 8-5-10 unless he does something crazy. And I take 8-11-9. I consider the 6-9-2, but I just... yeah, man. I don't like it. I don't know why, I just don't like it.
Okay. I don't need one.
Yeah, so he goes there.
Like 8-4-11's nice, right? But how good is it really without the wheat?
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, I really want this 9 of wheat. But I actually think, man, I take 8-4-11. I almost think that I just have to take the 8-4-11, really. I take 8-4-11, he takes 6-9-2, and then red can take 3-9-11 or 11-9-2. Maybe that's what I have to do. Whereas I take 8-9-11 point left, take 6-9-2. Maybe red doesn't even take 3-4-11. And I can just get the 8-4.
The wheat's just so good.
But here's where it goes really wrong, right? So the whole time I was talking about 8, 9, 11. Literally. There's 3 minutes on the clock as well. Let's skip a little bit. I don't know if I talk much, but...
The only problem is I don't
I'll
have
leave
a
A4
port.
open for you.
Yeah, I say it there. I don't have a port. So I'm thinking, right? So I take 8, 9, 11. He takes 6, 9, 2. I lose the wood port to him. And I only have this one settle spot. And I'm thinking... I'm thinking too much, I think, about it as well. Because, look, the settle spots are important because I'm not going to be building anywhere to get the points. But basically what I'm thinking is I get 8, 9, 11 point up to the 8, 4, which is the best scenario, right? And it's really good for me. But also, like, if I take this 8, 9, 11, then I'm stuck in the middle of the board as well without a port because he takes the wood port. Unless I can pull some crazy devs. But he most likely takes the wood port. I guess maybe I just fight for the wood port. But yeah, 8, 9, 11. I take the 8, 9, 11. And then he takes 6, 9, 2. And then red. I guess I really need to think about red's going to take more. Because I'm thinking he might go 3, 4, 11. And steal the 8, 4 from me. Because he has the brick and there's so much wood on this board. Should be able to get like a decent wood trade. And then he gets 8, 4. But did he really need it? Not really. But if he does that, then my game is just already over with, right? Maybe. I get one settlement spot, 3 points. City, 4 points. City, 5 points. City, 6 points. Army, 8 points. And then pull 2 VPs. Anyway, let's just watch for a bit.
Could even
And this is another big factor, right? So red comes in.
could even take 3, 9, 11 and the ore port.
And this is where this stupid idea comes into my head of taking 3, 9, 11. Basically what I'm thinking is like, look, 8, 11, 9's good. It's obviously way higher producing than 3, 9, 11, but I could get stuck here. If 8s don't roll, then I'm in a bit of trouble as well. But maybe if I take 3, 9, 11, maybe if I take 3, 9, 11 and point left, I get an extra 2 settle spots. I get the ore port, which isn't bad in my spot, right? And if the 3s can roll half as much as the 8s, like just half as much as the 8s, then it's kind of like, it kind of evens out, right? But I'm thinking like I'm going to lose this 8, 4 spot if I take this, which is not the way I should be thinking.
Which isn't actually that bad.
Oh, it is bad. It's really bad.
Because I need a port. Getting to 8, 4 is so good though, right?
Yeah.
All I need is one brick trade. But then I'm just portless, right, the whole game. Is that really the play?
8, 9, 11 and playing without a port.
Yeah, and then so I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking like I'm not going to have a port this game, right? And we just go back again. 5 seconds. So this whole time I'm tossing up like, man, I'm going to be portless this game. I don't want to screw this game up. And I was watching a ton of technical videos just before this, and I think it just got to my head a bit too much. Just watching a lot of videos talking about the importance of ports and, man, a bunch of that stuff. And then Red says
Is
this.
that really the play?
8, 9, 11 and playing without a port.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And I actually think this, what he said right there, it just tipped it. It tipped it to me, and I was just like, it tipped the scales when I was tossing it up. I was like, I think I was probably going to go the 8, 9, 11 in the end, just because it's like just way more winning than 3, 9, 11, and the potential for 8, 4 is really good for me as well. But then he says that, and then he said,
I mean, his expansion spot it gets him to double sheep, double ore, double wheat, right?
yeah, and then
I might just take the 3, 9, 11.
And then when Griffin says this, if I don't know why, but in a way I feel like he was saying it to convince me to take it. I don't know. Maybe because he wanted the 692. I don't know.
Am I crazy for that?
Yeah. And then it was 3, 4 seconds on the clock, and my mind's thinking about the port, and I just make the worst decision ever. And take the 3, 9, 11. Yeah. Yeah, and he knows it instantly, right? Because yeah, he says like no, yeah. He knows instantly that this is not only is it not only is it not probably the right play, right? But it's also he's thinking now, well, red is gonna get so much here, right? Because it's not just about. I was thinking way too much about what the problem with me was, and I wasn't thinking defensive as well. Because now red either gets 692, which is winning, or like 8, 9, 11 to a4, which is also just disgusting, right? But when I do look at this board, right, and the 3, 9, 11, if blue still takes 6, 9, 2, how good is it for red? He probably takes 8, 9, 11 into a4, but his game is so much slower. So I almost think blue still should have taken 6, 9, 2. But then it's like, well, why should I take 6, 9, 2 when 8, 9, 11 is just ridiculous for me, right? He has all the weight, all the shape, double eights, you know. But if blue does take the 6, 9, 2, then it does balance out the game, I think, a bit more. Because if he takes a4, 11, he plays with little weight, and he just has so much shape. I wonder what would have happened. Yeah, so let's skip a little bit here. So blue now...
No, guys, maybe I'm just trash.
Yeah.
8, 9, 11.
So now blue goes to 8, 9, 11. And I actually feel like 6, 9, 2 might have worked better for everyone. I don't know. I'd love to see what Griffin, what his thoughts are on him taking 6, 9, 2 still, even after my play. He still beats me, right? But it just makes, because I think this is just too winning for red. Because he got the road connect, he's got the best wood, the best brick, the best shape, the best weight, and decent, pretty decent ore. He can just build anywhere, really. Whereas if blue takes 6, 9, 2, then red is kind of in a bit more of a difficult spot without the wood. But I guess this is also just too good for blue. But I think yeah.
It's like I'm versing him in the all-wheat sheet. Like, I don't know, guys. He's just going to crush me, right? Because I need eights to roll. He beats me on every roll. It's like, what do I do here?
Yeah, and then so I start to realize that I really didn't want to play this kind of game. I just ultimately got forced into it. And blue's just going to beat me every time. So it's like I'm just in the most losing position. Because I need the eights to roll, but every 8 is just a sheep and an ore for him. Every 9 I get the weight. He gets the weight, and every 11 he gets the weight as well. So 3s are my only kind of roll that gets me something above him, and that's just like isn't good. But if blue takes 6, 9, 2, then it makes things a little more interesting because he can still play that dev card game, but it's more even, right? Because he doesn't have the shape and he needs to get to this wood port, and now red doesn't have this just ridiculous setup. So I'd love to see what his thoughts are on him taking the 6, 9, 2. Anyway, nice. I think 9s are all just like a bunch to begin, and the 11. So like, I'm just filled with weight.
Maybe I do just take that spot, honestly.
Yeah, and now I've kind of realized that I'm screwed. This whole game, I'm just screwed. And then once I realize that I'm screwed, it kind of just like deflates everything, because I'm just like, oh, I've just messed this game up straight off the bat. Like, what is this? What game am I playing here? This is ridiculous. And it's just like, I pretty much know I've lost at this point. Anyway, let's skip a little bit. So, where's the other key moment? So let's just see how this game unfolds. Play a bit from here. Yeah, and like, I'm not talking. It's hard with my first game as well, so I'm not chatting as much as well. I'm already like feeling pretty bad that I've put myself in this position, because I really wanted to play well for all of you guys, and I wanted to do a bit better than what I've started with. But
I think we just do this and pass.
Yeah, so I had 4-1 for the brick, which is honestly probably not even the right play in itself. So yeah, so let's look at this position right now. Griffin got to the 8-4 really fast. I think he made a few trades with red to get some brick for some non-blocks, and that's why the 10 is blocked. And so now his spot is just ridiculous. And this could have been me, really, couldn't it? But now he's got double 4s, double 8s, double 11s. He's literally just running the 8-4-11 play. And then, of course, he's got the 9 of weight. But he's just going to crush me every time. But the problem with what Blue's setup is that he's coming up against a monster, absolute monster in red. But right now, it looks like he's winning, right? And I'm kind of focusing on that. So there's an 8, right? He gets ore 2 and 2 shape. So right now I'm thinking like, man, blue is just ridiculously strong. Look at these numbers. And red is kind of just going under the radar here. But if you really look at his numbers, they're just as crazy, right? And the difference is that he's on a more variety of numbers. He's got every single resource, as well as road, which who's going to compete for road? Black, but then how do we give him the brick, you know? So
how are we going to stop blue?
yeah, so I even say it there. I say it to everyone. I say, how are we going to stop blue? So I'm already like, my mind, my subconscious is just thinking blue is going to destroy this game. And also Tandy Drew said that Griffin is a really good player. So I'm already thinking, and I can tell just by the way that he articulates himself and speaks and kind of leading the group as well. Anyway, let's play.
I believe that's up to everybody.
So yeah, and then an 11 rolls. So like, he's got the 8 and then an 11 rolled. Whereas Red just bought a dev. He's still on 2 points, Red. Whereas Blue is just crushing. And from my point of view, I'm like, oh my god, like Blue is just absolutely destroying everyone right now.
Oh my god.
So that's just in my subconscious. So just remember that for later on. Anyway, what does Blue do here? He just buys 1 dev with everything. Interesting. So he bought 1 dev. He's still ahead right now, I guess. We get a 5 here.
We just got to pop here, right? Yeah. It's
My game is just don't even look at my game right now.
Oh man.
Then there's an 8.
Yeah, maybe I just don't leave this to him.
Yeah, it's just bad, isn't it? I almost feel sick just watching this game. And also another thing, this game 3 rolls like 1 time as well. So my whole idea of 3. Well, actually, yeah, we'll look at the dice stats later. But anyway, so another 8, right? So he's got the 8, 11, and then 8 with like a 5 and a 10 in between. So Red's kind of just playing this sneaky game too. And the 10 is blocked here. So it's also Red hasn't been blocked as well, even with his setup. Anyway, let's play.
It's just so good, right?
So he's looking for the brick right now just to get the settle.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, and I'm down in the dumps at this point. He trades the brick. Okay, so what did Brad get there? He gets the wood and the sheep. I mean, it's an interesting trade. I think he has a bit more brick than he needs, but he gets the 2 for 1. He gives Black this settle, disguises Black like he's on 3. Look, I'm the only one on 2, as well as me. Like, we're even, right? But really, this isn't the case. And then he rolls a 7. And I guess that was the settle for him. And what does he block? I think he blocks 8 here.
I don't really have any weed. Yeah, you just have the 4 and the 11, huh? Maybe you're right about that. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, so he blocks the 8. Steals from Blue. Settles on the... So this 5 is now huge, right? And if 6 can roll a bunch, then, I mean, it's just game over.
That's good that he's got the 9, at least.
So Blue plays the Knight, blocks the 6,
9.
and then 9 rolls.
This is such a good roll for him, though.
And then 9 rolled. So, like, there's been, 2 8s, and 11, the 9s, and if the 4 rolls, like, man, Blue's just in such a ridiculous position. And that's just making me think, man, Blue's got to be stopped here, right?
I just think I have to play the Knight here.
And I don't know why, but I play the aggressive Knight. So I really think it's from the previous rolls, right? So that the 2 8s, the 11, he's popped twice, and this wood port is probably on the radar for him as well, and the 6 block. And I guess I just want to stop him from continuously popping as well. Like, if 8 keeps rolling, then this is his only sheep. Let's see what happens here. So I play the aggressive Knight.
Yeah, he's just too strong.
And I hit him. Still the wheat.
10.
10 rolls.
Yeah, we've got to get to this wood port ASAP.
I don't know why I'm even bothering, but I want to get to the wood port. I mean, if he has a road builder or a year of planning, it could be over for me as well if he has any of those. So this play, and I think this play, so let's think. They both have 3 points, and they both have 1 dev, but I aggressive Knight to block the 8, so he can't continually pop. Look, there is cases to say that this is the right play, I think, but it's also so early in the game that it's like, look, if Blue gets too ahead, everyone can focus on him. But I think I really needed to, and I believe it's just the pressure and it being my first kind of game, because I don't normally make those kind of, I barely ever aggressive Knights, just not my play. But yeah, man. It hurts watching this, but it needs to be done. The play there is just hold the Knight. I also want to kind of keep the pacing up with him to play the Knights. So I play the Knight, hit the 8, steal a wheat from him. build a road towards there. 10 rolled, so the block's not doing that much either, especially if he has a knight. But I just shouldn't have wasted the knight on that. But either way, my game's dead, right? It's just kind of hurting blue now. Anyway, let's continue
really
watch. Yeah, so I can see the road builder, but I obviously just play the road because it's literally the only play I have. I pretty much need the wood port. And then these sneaky 10s, they hit again.
Damn.
Yeah, so also there's the 4, right? So now this reinforces, what I've done is the decision I've made to play that aggressive knight is the right move, because if these rolls, all these rolls combined, even though red's had some pretty good rolls, you just see that blue is the strongest. You look at this position, you're like, oh my god, blue is going to absolutely crush everyone. Let's play.
Oh, 4s are bad. Dude, bad.
Yeah, and then this sneaky 10, right? So this 10's rolled a couple times, so he has a bit of ore in his pocket, I believe. Maybe 2. Maybe it's just 1, but there's also a lot of wheat. He has a lot of wheat as well from this 9. Yeah, okay, so he had 3 ore. So these 10s, I think this is where the game balance really changed. Once he dropped that city, that 10 right there really helped his game snowball. Because he cities, but I'm not thinking about red. I'm not thinking about, look, who's going to fight road? He has every resource. I'm thinking about blue. My mind's on blue right now. That 4 just rolled. The 11 and the 8s rolled a bunch in the last couple turns. He's got a dev already. And I can just tell that he's a strong player. Everyone's a strong player as well, by the way. So
That's a big city.
yeah, I said it's a big city. I don't know. So I think he hits the 6 here.
Unblocking the dog here is dangerous, dude.
Yeah, well, I guess it's...
Excellent at getting involved.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Well, the 6 didn't roll, so it didn't actually do anything. 6 or 8 didn't roll, so the knight, it didn't do anything if you think about it. And I still could have had the knight, and I made him play the knight. So really, the move didn't change the game at all, but I shouldn't have played the aggressive knight, and I should still have a knight in my pocket to then maybe hit red again. So I guess it changes in that aspect, but the play didn't really do anything. Like, I still think, even if I rolled a 7, I think it's hitting blue in that spot, but it's definitely not the aggressive knight. Anyway, let's play.
I'm going to give you a break just because Phantom played an aggro knight on me. I'm going to get a little bit of revenge.
Okay, so...
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I played I guess this is why as well. So I played the aggressive knight on Griffin. He gets a little revenge here and blocks the 9. And the 9's a fair block. I mean, is it though? So he doesn't have the wheat. It's his only wheat spot. And I guess it kind of, yeah. It's kind of a turning point, really, if you think about it. Because he really should have just blocked 6 or 5 at this point. Probably the 5, right? I think it's just a solo block on the 5. But I think he was just having a little fun. It was just a little banter. And he blocks the 9. And then the 6 rolls. So he pops as well. 11. Wait, did he steal from me as well? No, he didn't, did he? Oh, no. Alright, so he had 0 cards. Okay, I didn't see this. So he had 0 cards, so that's why he doesn't want to hit Dark Gate here. He wants to hit 9. He can't solo. Almost you need to solo block the 5 though, even though you don't get a card, but I guess that's kind of the thing, right? You always want to be getting a card. So he hits the 9, steals a wheat from me. Yeah, I guess you probably just... Oh, man. I think you do have to see, and I think he already knew, maybe, that red is just too far ahead at this point with the city, and you got to hit the 5, maybe. I don't know. It's up for debate.
I can only do wheat here just to pop.
So here I'm just trying to pop.
I can give you 2 wheat, Dark Heat.
I'm just trying to get a pop here. And red's the only one that's accepted. I don't think I take it with red. I take that. I take the... I don't know why I gave him the wheat for the wood. And then I just give red the... Yeah. And then... It's a weird sequence, right? So I get... Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what I was trying to do. So I traded the wheat for the wood with Dark Gate, so then I could give the wood for wheat instead of the wheat for sheep with red. So I give him wood, which he already has. And then blue is offering me the ore for brick, which is actually fine, right? I should just take this and just settle and it'd be done with, because he could potentially plow me, right, with whatever dev he has as well, because he popped a dev on his turn. Once I said again, like, subconsciously, but I'm still thinking blue's ahead. Also with the 2 knights played, right? Anyway, I pop, get a useless knight from it. the 2 hits. So it just helps red even more.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then there's that 11, right? That sneaky 11. It comes in again. And now blue has 8 cards with a dev, 2 nights played. So I'm still thinking blue is ahead. And maybe people think that blue is ahead, but that's where my mind is at currently. So red just passes. There's that 6. But the 6 just doesn't seem as good as this 11, this brick that he's getting.
Pricey.
But right now he has so much wood, right? One brick roll, and he's just like going to this 3-1, doing whatever he wants. So what does blue do here? Yeah, so blue says to me basically, look, give me the wood, and I won't plow you because he has a Year of Plenty here.
What's he got?
I don't want to kill your game here, but that's the only.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, so I just I give him the wood for the weight, because he's got the Year of Plenty, and he can, that 11 roll basically gave it to him, I think. And yeah, he can just go to the wood port. He doesn't need the wood port, but getting on more ore is always good, right? But we make a deal, he won't plow me, I give him the wood,
That sucks for Phantom. Oh, what is he
and then he uses the Year of Plenty. He probably still had the plow without the 11, actually. And he gets to the wheat port, and now this play, like, it's always the plays that, like, it's the flow of the game, right? He's always making these big moves right before my turn because I'm right after him. And it's shifting my focus off of red onto him. So let's see.
Trying to lean into the floors. I see.
And this is just huge for him, right? The wheat port is ridiculous. The 8s are ridiculous. The 4s are ridiculous. Now he's on the 3 as well. And he also just kind of like took my only wood. So, but it was actually the nice thing. He did the nice thing. I don't know how good the wood port is for him with the 8. I wonder if he ever just plows me, because this is ultimately better, right? You get the 4, you get that port is just so much better than this. Your game can really take off.
Like it.
But I play the knight.
It's been an 11 game, but now it's a 4 game.
Now it's a 4 game. All right.
Anyway, so let's yeah,
I see.
let's play this.
I see that good colonist.io relationship. I see.
I've just got to hit 8, right?
No, it's the 4.
No, 4.
The 4.
You gotta stop the year.
I guess there's merit to both.
So I'm thinking I got to block the 8. The highest probability roll. If the 8 continues to roll, it's pretty bad. He's always going to have tons of wheat. But they say the 4. I don't know. I feel like 8's still the block, but they were saying the 4. I listened to them.
I like either. But
I hit the 4, still the wheat. And then I roll the 7, which is really unfortunate for blue here, because I'm so focused on what he's just done. Like, it's the flow of the game, like him settling on this 4-3, using the Year of Plenty, 2 nights played. He's on everything, like 2 4s get him a city. The 8s are huge. He's got the wheat port. Whereas red kind of like, he hasn't done that much. The city was big, but it kind of went a little unnoticed, I would say, like, because then there wasn't enough focus on him. Like, this settle wasn't, it wasn't all that. Like, his game is under the radar a little bit, as funny as that sounds. But here's where I've got to look at the situation, right? And I almost think I actually probably have to hit knight and hit red. But because blue made that move on last turn, my focus was just on blue. Clearly, I wasn't thinking straight as well. So really, I think I just hit 5. Actually, I think it's just 5. There's no brick on the board. He really needs the brick. Otherwise, his hand's kind of stuck. Maybe even 10. But I go ahead and block the 4. And he doesn't really say anything either. He doesn't really say anything. Maybe if he honestly probably could have talked his way out of a block. And then I roll the 7, which is really bad, because I just hammer the 8 straight away. Whereas really, he had 2 cards, and he wasn't going to do much. A couple rolls, yeah, he can do a lot. But red's sitting at 7 cards here with most likely a VP. So something that hasn't been played, VP or mono. He blew again. 2 wheat, which is also useless for me, right? Like, I don't need this 2 wheat.
I'm on 4 points, but J-Dog's in the city with a non-knight.
Yeah, and then he says that he's at 4 points with 0 cards, and red's at 4 points with a city and a non-knight, and they both have a port. Blue's ports, actually, the ports are even, right?
Is getting road. Like, we gotta, I know you want army, but like, J-Dog is...
And then I 4-4 my wait for another brick. Oh, it's just such a bad game for me, isn't it? Oh man, it's disgusting. But yeah, Blue's completely right here.
He's the only player with all 5 forces. He has a 3-1 port.
Yeah, he just says it a bit late, and like then I kind of realize, look, this is bad what I've done. Anyway,
You're right.
yeah, I say he's right,
Whenever a 5
which he is.
will have brick.
And then there it is. Oh man, oh that sucks. Yeah, there's the 5 roll, and he already has a bunch of wood, right? It's that from that 2, the 6s rolled a bit. I also gave him the wood, so now he has 10 cards and a non-knight.
Hurts me
Yeah,
to see
damn.
that. Yeah, it hurts me to see that 4-1.
Phantom, I think you gotta center in here.
Yeah, and he says that you got to think more about this game. And he's completely right. And I think that also probably pissed him off a little bit. The double steal when he has 2 cards. And he's in a really good position. Like this game, me and Black aren't winning this game, respectively. So the game is really between him and Red. And I kind of just chose him. It's like I could have really evened the game out if I hit the 5. But then what if 4 rolls twice? So I guess you can say that as well, because then he has a city and then he's really unstoppable as well. And then maybe Red's mad. But I do think Blue is right, and I do think that I should have maybe even hit the 5 to begin with. Who knows? But definitely hit Red on that 7 attempt, because Blue's just at 1 card, 1 weight. Anyway, the 9 rolls, which is just what he needed as well. He needed the weight. I think that was the 1 card he didn't have. So now just from that one misplay that I made, it's just spiraled out of control, because now he's going to go to this ore port, and now I lose that settlement spot, which is kind of like, I don't have a game anyway, but I needed this settlement spot at least.
Division 6.
Settles on that. So now he has 2 wheat every 9 as well, 2 sheep every 6, 2 ore every 10, 3 brick every 5, and he already has a bunch of wood, I believe, in his hand. Builds a road. The 12 hits. Like, this is where it starts spiraling out of control. There's the 5. Blue's not getting any of his rolls, and also Blue, because he's on the 8-4-11, he needs these 3 numbers to roll. Otherwise, he's just he's going to be stuck at this 1 card. So it's like this 1 block. This is where the game went all wrong. Just that one. There's 1 double steal right there.
He's doubled on his sheep, his ore, and his wheat, and he has the only road material.
Yeah, this game's over. Anyway, what happens here? So he plays the knight, blocks 9, and then rolls the 7. Yeah, he aggressive knight. It's brutal, yeah. Blocks the 10, the 6 rolls. Yeah, it's just too hard to stop him at this point. Builds the road. Is that a settle as well?
6 points, 7 points. Like 7 points with a settle, 1 more road is 9 points.
9. And I'm just feeling absolutely trash. I rolled a 6 as well in the 9. Oh god, it's really bad at this point. 11 cards.
Need a 7. Solo blocking me there is not the move, dude. No one's getting road.
Yeah, and he says, yeah, I think he's a bit mad at this point as well. I'd be as well, because he has a really good chance to win this game, and I kind of just screwed it up for him with those 2 blocks. I don't know if he's still. I think it gets a lot closer, but I wonder. Anyway, 5 rolled again.
9 points on this turn. If not, win.
Yeah, 14 cards. That could be the win. I don't know how he managed to extend the game, but basically, I don't think he had the win, because I don't think he had the VP, but he trades all his brick and all his sheep for 2 ore and pops 2 devs. Yeah, I thought that was really weird. So 3 devs for him, 4 then rolls, and then, well, let's skip a little bit. So then there's a bunch of like weird rolls. Keep going. I managed to get a city and a settle somehow, so at least I've got 4 points. But yeah, we look at Red's position, he's just gonna win. But I think we managed to, yeah, we give Black road here, which is something. Actually kind of bad for me, because if the game just ends next turn, then I have 4 points and at least he has 3 points, maybe 4 points as well. And like we both finish on 4 and Griffin maybe only has 5. So really, if we're thinking about from a tournament perspective, I should just let Red win. But obviously I'm not that guy that does that. It's way too sweaty. They need the points because they want to play as well. Anyway, he can't win 14 cards. He buys the city and pops another dev. Blue takes army. 9 rolls. Bunch of other things. I think he had both monos as well. 8 points. I pull the road building. I don't manage to get another point this whole game, which is really sad. What happened there? I think I just pop,
Oh,
hoping for a VP.
wait, now I have too many cards.
Yeah, and I got a knight. I probably could have got a wheat there from someone. Black manages to keep the game alive with the road extend. He pops another dev, and I think it was the road building. And then he ends up using the road building and builds another road.
We're building.
And I'm just really upset with myself at this point because I know I don't know if this is winning if I take the 8-9-11, but at least it balances the game out a bit. And then
I think in the end I just have to take that because then I just give you 6-9-2. But
Yeah. See, I thought you were gonna take 6-9-2 and 8-9-11 or something. I wasn't sure, but yeah.
Good game, guys.
yeah, really disappointing. I'm really disappointed in myself as well, actually. It is what it is. It is what it is. Look at my sad setup. 8-3-10, 3-9-11. I need to go to the rolls. Where are the dice rolls? Because that's when it gets even sadder. I don't believe I go.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Okay, Siri, one sec.
Here's an answer from yourdictionary.com. Suck definition to
Alright. Oh my god, yeah. This is what it's even sadder. The 3 rolled twice. The 8 rolled 4 times. I feel like I was screwed either way. Yeah, so either way, I don't think I ever win this game, but I can allow myself to get more points to... Yeah. 4 points. So bad. So terribly bad. 11 did roll 7 times, but I mean, everyone's got the wheat already, so it doesn't really do much. And then... Any more starts here? There's the dev cards drawn. Still 2 VPs and 2 knights, 50-50 shot VPs as well. Would have been nice to have had at least 5 points. Yeah, and then I'm messaging Danny Drew. Messed the game up so bad. And that's basically it. And then we actually played a scrim straight after. I've still got the end of the game. Basically me, red and blue, now black, and then another player who's really good. Basically ran it back. And it was more just like a fun game, so not as serious. But then I won that game. And this setup is beautiful, right? The sheep and the wood port. But yeah, basically we've just played a scrim after, just a practice game in voice chat with basically the same players. And I won the game. Not that much meaning because there was a little bit of just fun and banter. And I didn't bother filming this game because I was just so upset. I just said I need to practice. But then I won. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. I got to play better in my second one, that's for sure. It's just such a different kind of thing. Like, it's a lot harder to just talk, especially when you don't know. Like, everyone kind of knows each other. I'm the odd one out. But everyone's super nice. So I just kind of got to get out of my little bubble that I'm in and be more confident in myself. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. It's a different one, I know, but yeah. Gotta review those games. Gotta review the games that you lose, especially the bad ones, so then it doesn't happen again. But yeah, that's it from me, guys, and yeah, peace out, guys.